Hello and welcome to another Beer with Wraggy. And today, we're going to talk about maybe a slightly controversial subject. IPA. We see a lot of beers these days called IPA. And IPA, for those who don't already know, and fucking hell, I know I'm chewing eggs here, Indian Pale Ale, the India Pale Ale. The original version of it was the British made beer to go to India that had to be of a certain strength. I think it was about 6%. Memory serves me correct. I'm sweating like an absolute bastard in here. Hot as fuck, but got my best bitter. Hey. But yeah. Nice nuttiness coming to the bitter that wasn't in there at the beginning. Strange, isn't it? The head's dissipated really quickly, to be fair. But it's not at the right temperature, so it's going to dissipate quicker. But anyway, IPAs, should we now be thinking, you see a lot of beers that are pale ales. Whether pale ales came before IPAs, I don't know. I'm not that much of a bloody beer fucking historian, I'm just somebody who likes a beer. But there are times when I see beers on the shelves, and like here behind me, without calling out any breweries, you've got a hazy IPA, a black IPA, a session IPA, and another session IPA, and a New England IPA. So it's New England. It's an American New England India Pale Ale. And the question is it not time that, should an IPA be called an India Pale Ale these days, or should it be called an International Pale Ale? Because there's a lot of beers that sport the IPA, and it's nothing absolutely bugger all to do with India. And it's interesting, breweries will put out these IPAs, and I'm not slagging breweries off because I can understand why they do what they do. If I'm looking at Blue Monkey at the back of me here, we've got a pale ale, we've got a golden ale. Polly's a pale ale, a blonde, a craft lager, and there's so many styles of beers. I've seen in some pubs this like map of beer styles, which I'm not sure if my phone's not that great at doing beer reviews, but we'll soon see later when I get the comments in. But it does beg the question. Should we still name beers IPAs using India Pale Ale as the name? It does make you wonder whether we should change, whether it's still a valid thing. Yes, it started off. Is the I part of India Pale Ale, doesn't mean anything these days. It's a question for the world of beer. And we see lots of beers in pubs, in cans, bottles, whatever, called an IPA. But and a friend of mine, Andy, from the Happy Drinkers, he brought this up, and and it's a valid question, because I've seen breweries, friends of mine, bring out a South Pacific IPA, so a South Pacific India Pale Ale, a black India Pale Ale. And it's not the pale ale part of the equation, although with a black IPA, it probably is the part of the question, because how is it pale when it's black? What defines a pale ale? it's probably the question to all beer drinkers and brewers and that. What is an IPA? Because when the boundaries change all the time, you've got triple IPAs, you've got double IPAs, single IPA, session IPA. I mean, there's so many bloody different IPAs. I'm thinking of bringing out a Wraggy's IPA. Yeah, nothing to do with India, but there you go. And there you can see, you know, the this meaning of the I part of the pale, you know, IPA. IPA looks good because if you've got an IPA, is it these days? Is it more about the three letters, more so than anything about the meaning of the original meaning of the word IPA? You know, it's great in social media terms and for ease of putting the beer out there, you know, as an IPA. But it is interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward for the comments on this one, and I'm hoping I do get some comments because it is an interesting question. What is an IPA? What classifies an IPA? Are today's IPAs in the grand scheme of things? You know, I've tasted IPAs. Well, I think it was Burton Bridge Brewery, if they're still around these days, because I know that there's been issues with some of the Burton breweries. But they did a 6.6% nice ABV IPA. And as I've said, it begs the question, what is an IPA? And I'm going to throw it over to the world of beer. I've got some bagging boxes to get rid of over the next few days, so you're going to see quite a few beer of Wraggy's. Do apologise. There may be some mental health ones. It's all to get rid of beer and to not waste beer, because I don't want to waste beer that I've bought. And, you know, if I'm the one who's got to drink it, hell yes. And my phone is literally a second behind. So I do apologise if this is not absolutely, on kosher. That's quite worrying, really, because if you're taking a video with a phone and it's not recording properly, that is quite worrying, especially the fact that I give my beer review phone away. Yeah, that is quite worrying. But in any case, the question to the beer world, what is an IPA? Has the IPA word been overused? What's your thoughts on the subject? You know, let's hear what the beer world thinks. Am I right? Am I wrong? You know, all I am is somebody with a beer channel, wanting to do his best for the beer world. But it's interesting to hear what people think about. That's quite quick, actually. About this world of beer. And that is my beer of Wraggy. I'm now going to go up the house. I'm sweltering like an absolute twat in this shed. It's absolutely roasting. There's a sweet zone, and I think it's about 20 degrees. Below 20, it starts to get cold. Above 20, it's fucking warm. So, yeah, it's boiling. It's literally about 27 degrees in there, and I'm sweating like a twat. And I feel a little bit abbreviated, but there you go. That's beer for you. But yeah, so what is an IPA? Whoa, should be a good conversation topic.